past the moment you looked at me from across the room. Those eyes kept following me. Something popped in my brain. Oh baby, only you I see. Feels like I'm going insane, and only you can save me. Feels like I'm drowning in ocean's blue. Baby, come on, baby, baby, come on, let's go. I'm losing control of the lights in this space. Keep jumping around, all I see is your face. But you're moving closer, no time to escape. Your hand on my shoulder shoots me into space, and I can't deny how badly I need you now. 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 You take away my breath now, boy. Don't you dare steal my heart now, boy. I know you're something that I'll enjoy. Move a little bit closer now, to some place where there ain't no crowds. I wanna get to know you right here and now. I got trapped in your touch the moment you took my hand. Led me all the way to the ocean sand. You told me don't worry as the moonlight gled. I pulled you in close, whispered I'm not scared. I'm losing control of the lights in this space. Keep jumping around, all I see is your face. But you're moving closer, no time to escape. Your hand on my shoulder shoots me into space, and I can't deny how badly I need you now. 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 I need you
Welcome to the ESL Southeast European Championship.
We gotta be honest though. I mean, at this point, it is a chance for Sinners to get.
How has he been able to just shift through like that? He's looking at
Oh!
He will maybe another ace on the.
Oh, man!
4 kills, 1 player left.
Oh!
And then he completes the ace.
And here comes the Bane with a double kill. And here comes the follow-up. And Jack is waiting to follow up there. And we see the triple kill come out and taking down Poppy. And they are continuing to push this one. You are going to want to get out of there. You don't want to die to that one. But there comes the Quadra. Are we going to see the Penta?
Red Bull gives you wings.
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
Get your team apparel now at shop.eslgaming.com.
Hello and greetings. Welcome to ESL SEC Season 7, the Southeast Europe Championship. I'm Extremes and I'm joined by Prophecy, and we're here to do Nexus versus Infamous. Map ban on the screen right now, Prof.
Yeah, that it is. So, I mean, it's fairly usual. We don't often miss Cash or Mirage in our pick bans these days, but Inferno, a lot of the teams haven't actually been that big of a fan of Inferno, so interesting to see that Nexus were actually the ones that picked it up.
Yeah, indeed. I'm trying to remember if we have we actually covered Inferno at all in the championship so far. I don't think so.
I think there has been one or two games.
Oh, I know you're going to be searching your records, Mr. Analyst Man there. But while he does that, we'll look at a few of the players that we've got here, of course. If we look on the side of Infamous, Whiskey are really, really good player. I've been very impressed by what I've seen out of him. On Nexus' side, Jaxie's been pretty good. Picks up the AWP occasionally. Also, Zello generally is going to be on an AWP. He's the main AWPer. He's pretty solid as well.
That he is. We actually haven't had a played game of Mirage. We've had a number of like potential third games, but they either haven't been played or it's just never gotten to that point type thing.
That's interesting. So it's one of those maps that you tend to, in pro level play at least, see a lot. But at this sort of level, what we've seen pretty much more than anything else is Mirage.
Yeah, that is very much the case. I mean, Mirage, I think, is well, it was at a stage last year the most played map in the pool. So certainly not too shabby. It's also the oldest map in the pool, so a lot of teams are probably very comfortable. You know, it's like the old Dust 2. Everybody's willing to play it because everybody knows all the tricks, although with that recent update, that could be changing.
That could be changing indeed. I'm interested to see how the open skyboxes necessarily affect things like fakes, especially if you in B apps and you want to fake towards A. That's a lot more possible than it used to be. I think the best that you used to be able to do was throw a jungle smoke from that side, or a connector smoke. Now you can actually get smokes into the bomb site, which is quite a change up. So I think that's going to affect pro level play quite a bit, and maybe, I don't know necessarily, but maybe these teams have put some prep time into doing that sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't think they've done super in-depth training for it, but certainly they will have a couple of the tricks up their sleeve. Mostly it's just, as I said, it's more familiarity than anything else.
Yeah, I also like some of the areas on the map that they've cleaned up a little bit. They look a little jarring at first, like in Connector, but you can actually see the effect that you'll be able to spot a player a little bit easier, especially that really dark-colored CT model.
Yeah. I think it's overall improvements to the map, personally. I like what they've done with the map. Maybe there's one or two things that don't make 100% sense to me, but otherwise I think it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I'd absolutely agree with you. Looks like we're just still waiting for one player here. Also, the new broken wall, that's an interesting one to me. I never really felt that there was much of an issue with it. I guess it's again just to find some visibility, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they've given an HD patch just to that wall. With,
It really does look
changes to it.
different to all the other textures on the map, eh?
Yeah.
What is encouraging to me about the map, though, overall, is that Valve didn't just throw it out, you know, because it has got the oldest textures. It's one of the oldest maps in the pool in terms of looks, anyway. They could have really easily dropped it out, but obviously recognizing that at the pro level, it's one of the most played maps, to just knock it out there and replace it with something random like canals or something, that's not going to be good for the game.
No, it wouldn't be. I mean, like Nels, I don't think anybody's actually properly practiced that map. They'd have to put it into the pool and then actively encourage pros to play it for a good 5 to 6 months, would be my guess, before you'd even really see anybody playing it outside of a lark.
Yes, I don't think I've ever played an actual game on it. Both times I found a matchmaking game on it, the other team, somebody didn't show up. Probably because they didn't want to play it.
Probably.
Don't blame them. But of course, we're waxing lyrical a little bit here. Nexus versus Infamous is the game that we're about to see. We're just waiting for a Nexus player to show up, and then we can get going. The game was actually scheduled for 5 CST, and it's now 10 past 6 CST because Infamous did not show up in time. So let's hope they show up on the server. Nexus, stop punishing us. Let your player show up. It's been an hour and 10 minutes. See if we can check when this player is actually going to show up. No information yet as to where he may be, so we may have to wait a little bit yet again.
Yeah, it's not going to be fun, but them's the rules.
Oh, jeez, really? I like the idea of forfeits. I don't know how you feel about that.
I think forfeits are a good idea in general, especially for online play. For LAN play, well, I mean, there is obviously the one well-known case.
True that.
But in general, I think LAN forfeits are to be avoided at all costs. Well, not at all costs. At most costs, let's be fair.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Just update on the score for ESL 1 Belo Horizonte SK versus Space Soldiers. And there it was looking, Space Soldiers looking good, but it's now 13-9 to SK.
Ouch.
I don't know, man. On cash, SK is one of the few maps that they're actually okay at.
I mean, SK did get what, 2-0 by Space Soldiers 2 days ago. Although they do have that crazy thing of like upsetting them
Early on,
at the start of a tournament, and then when they play them later in the tournament, they get utterly wrecked. So.
Well, at least it's not utterly wrecked this time, because 13-9 doesn't necessarily mean they got slapped with a wet fish, which is encouraging, I guess.
Yeah, well, got all 5 players of Nexus.
Yes, and it is a knife round. Thank you guys again for joining us, and thank you for showing up, Ang. Nexus versus Infamous ESL SEC Season 7, and now another exciting knife round in which we see the Bowie knife cut off in the HUD. Valve, please fix.
Yeah, small but annoying fact of life. I mean, the Bowie knife is the only weapon, the only knife that I actually really want, even though I do have a Falcon or Falchion. I don't know how you pronounce that
That's
stupid
Falchion,
word.
yeah. The Bowie knife, because you're a huge Bowie fan, or because you actually
No,
like
because
the knife?
just looks mean.
It does, it's
Just
huge.
looks freaking mean. Yeah.
Shouldn't the next upgrade from that be like, I don't know, a proper katana or something?
No. A Tanto would work, but not a katana.
I just want something so long that it also gets cut off in the HUD there. Although
That'd be stupid.
yeah, we are digressing nonetheless, but should be seeing the teams readying up and getting ready to go. Yeah, they are ready to go. In fact, it's the pistol round, Infamous on the CT side. It's where you want to be, right?
It's generally where you want to start. It's not the end of the world if you do start on T's, though. There's been quite a few teams that have made the T side work, and Nexus look like they've got an execute planned here. It's all starting in T-spawn.
Oh.
No, still
No.
warm up.
Still, I was thinking, oh no, am I out of sync with what's going on? What's happening? I think they went not live. It was supposed to go live, and somebody called. Hang on, wait. Somebody at the door. Forgot to flush the toilet. Left the oven on.
There's pizza at the door.
I was busy ironing, and I remembered I had to come and play this game.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like switching to the camera right now while you're eating that.
No.
I won't do that to you, don't worry. So we don't know what the delay is right now. I'm guessing some kind of technical issue stopped them from going live. Let's hope we're not going to wait too much longer. Do you think I should tweet at Nexus and say an hour and 15 minutes, boys? Would that be mean?
Would they understand you?
I don't know.
I mean, let's be real. People from the Balkans are well known for their rather fiery temper, so I wouldn't do things like that.
Yeah, this is true. I'm not going to do that. Edmund does say the match is live, but that was 4 minutes ago, so I'm assuming that's before the delay. So let's hope that we do get underway. I know you don't want to get underway because you're busy eating right now.
There's no hard working pairs.
So who do we think's going to win? Yeah, what do you think, Prof? Which team is likely to stamp their authority? Yeah, I thought Nexus were really good, and then they showed some real weakness the other day.
I mean, the problem is that both these teams have had flashes of inspiration, but in general have been poor in relation to the other two teams in the pool. So I think maybe you go Nexus here, but it's certainly not beyond possibility that Infamous will get it done.
Oh, and there's Zello getting it done very nicely. Long range with that P250, the ideal buyer to take these sorts of range duels. He's going to close the distance though, is Zello. And I think he'll get this kill, in fact. He's doing some big damage here. Should go down, I thought, but actually not. Meanwhile, it is a fake. The B-bomb side in their control. Zello doing all the work all on his own.
That he is, and Nexus have full control there. Only lefty left.
Wow, everybody's being dropped to the floor here. Jaxie should get this last kill, and he does indeed. So that will be that in the round, and very impressive start there for Nexus.
I think I'm slightly ahead of you on the feed. What time do you have?
Don't worry, I will actually. It's starting right now.
Alright, I think it might be a second ahead of you. We'll figure it out as we go.
Indeed. Infamous also trying to figure it out as they go, going for the force buy here. See if they can do some damage with these weapons. This is, of course, on the latest updates. So the CZ's no longer able to get the one-shot headshot kills. Rivy doing his best, but not going to be good enough just yet. Ooh. That was rather awkward there, but Whiskey does get the kill. He has been forced back, however, and him and his teammate are suffering a little bit for HP, but geez, he's hitting everything in the head right now.
That he is, and Lefty's trying to get some help behind. He's going to nail Jax from the side there. It leaves it into a 2 versus 2. Nexus at the moment do have the weaponry advantage, but Infamous will be able to get close. And we said that they had been nerfed on those CZs, but that's only if you're at full HP, and Nexus clearly isn't. So Lefty, with that AK, could do some serious damage here. Just got to find one player. One on site, one on the balcony. Need to play this together. Lefty checking. He's going to find the first player. He's taking a huge amount of damage. Not actually getting done, and that'll allow Cementy to get up close with that UMP and finish the kill.
Yeah, they do round it out, but they certainly made hard work of it, the Nexus.
Yeah, they made very hard work of that. I mean, it was up against CZs and Deagles, so can't really blame them. This should be the round where they can farm up, as BTN and Jaxie will be leading the charge into A, which has been abandoned by the boys of Infamous.
Yeah, that's a rather curious decision, but again, a pistol with no armor gets a kill, and They really need to tighten this up. This is something we've said about Nexus all through the qualifiers and in the actual championship itself. They are poor against force buys.
Yeah, surprisingly poor. And I mean, if you looked at that, there was what, a Mac 10 up against an armored pistol player, didn't even do damage to him. That's super surprising. And I mean, right now it's just going to be a cleanup. There's not much that Infamous can do against the AKs at range, but in general, Nexus looking pretty solid.
Yeah, great start for them on the T side. You want to target sort of 6 or 7 rounds and you'd feel pretty comfortable going through. They're already halfway there. Now with a full buy coming in for Infamous, they've got the AWP on Whiskey. We know how dangerous he can be. But no AWP in the hands of Nexus, and that means Mac 10 hoping to find some unarmored heads.
Yeah, well, there are 3 of them actually. And BTN's not going to be aware that they are so up close, and I mean, okay.
Oh? What
Seems
happened?
like Nexus just got utterly wrecked. They tried the A hit, and Infamous cleaned them up.
Yeah, that was a rather sudden stop, and it wasn't even that quick that they were traveling before they stopped there. They just barely got over the threshold into the bomb site and got slapped down instantly. Still be a buy here for Nexus, of course. But beyond this, then they'll start hurting a little bit for money. So Infamous got a real opportunity here, but likewise on the other side, it's one of those pivotal rounds early in the half.
Yeah, one of those pivotal rounds for both teams, as money's not looking fantastic for either of them. Oh, Zello with a quick flick upwards, and he's going to take Lefty. Lefty's going to be severely upset that he's got nobody holding his back there. Such a dangerous angle to be holding if you don't have somebody watching your behind. And that'll allow Nexus to gain a lot of map control. Infamous having to rotate into A to make certain that there's nothing else pushing into there. It does open the map, and Zello continuing that wonderful form from the pistol round. Gets himself a second. Revi, one of 2 remaining players. He's going to make it 4 versus 2, but at this stage, Whiskey, oh, if you're going to give him shots like that, you certainly are going to profit, and Cemente is going to go down. Infamous with double AWPs. I mean, this is not really possible to retake here. You can see Infamous is going to try to do something. Whiskey trying for something, but I really can't see him working it out. Revi will just hide and save. But Nexus, they break the money of Infamous, and it's going to be a very, very tough one unless Infamous forces up, which they probably will do. Revi needs to keep this AWP alive. He's going to do it in spectacular fashion, taking BTN and his entire chest cavity with him.
Well, if you're an organ farmer of some kind, I guess an entire chest cavity is pretty valuable. Revi, though, got an AWP, which is going to be far more valuable for them in this coming round. Of course, they've got nothing. Got to say, though, Zello, the way he plays as an AWPer, you know, lurking with an AWP, getting kills while his team goes towards B, that's interesting. It's not something you see a lot, and particularly here, it could start to get a little bit telegraphed. If they see him alone on ramp, they might be able to tell that it's actually a B hit coming.
Yeah, obviously that was what basically people eventually figured out about NIP with the classic get right lurk, but at this stage I don't think we've seen enough. Cemente has certainly seen enough to start removing players' heads. Lefty will be the first one to receive that honor, and lots of noise being made. Valon does go down to the, well, flames and the fire, and Infamous now in a bit of a shaky situation. Zello, well, that Spidey sense is telling him where to shoot, and Whiskey Yara is the last remaining player in a 1 versus 3. He's got no real map control, no real utility to get himself in yet, barring a flash, and that's not going to be enough against this Nexus positioning.
Tough situation here. If he had a smoke, you could try for a Sparkles play, I guess, but I don't think that's necessarily going to be possible unless they do something super negligent, like leave the bomb site too early.
I mean, since Snacks is 1v5, I doubt that's highly possible. Whiskey gets 1 kill, not going to be able to get anything else, but I think in the grand scheme of things, getting 1 kill and getting out is probably as much as you could have asked for.
Very much so. He was in such a difficult situation that he's very lucky they didn't push CT to clear it either. So it's interesting to me that they decided not to push there, because it seemed logical that's where he might be. But hey, we've got the X-ray, so we can't necessarily say what the players might or might not see. Nexus with a nice conference going on there in T-Spawn in the meantime. And they know they're up against a low buy here at the very best for Infamous, and at the worst, of course, a nothing buy, which it is.
Yeah, pots and pans, bits and bobs, prison shanks maybe if they're lucky. Oh, Whiskey taking some damage there, but Nexus, I mean, should be super favored to win this round again. Strong map control through the middle area, and Infamous has stacked B site, which is where Nexus has traditionally gone with middle control. They've split off into B, and certainly slanted that way once again. So, smallest of possibilities for Infamous to actually end up winning this round.
Yeah, it seems like an infinitesimally small chance, but you never know. They've got a few players in position. As I say, that lefty will go down. Cementy gets in the site there, and he gets himself some work done. Revi and Mar left alone. Yeah, they shouldn't be able to get anything, but he nearly finds himself a kill, courtesy of his rather crisp aim. But it was never really going to happen, considering that he didn't have armor, didn't have a weapon, didn't have anything going for him.
Yeah, as soon as they lose that M4, there's nothing that they can really do at this point. So, Infamous will be giving up that 6th round, and as you said, Nexus will be quite happy to collect that. I mean, 6 rounds on the T side is a solid T half these days, and they've definitely got that and more. Could very well grab themselves a 7th. Infamous will buy up into this round, but it's not going to be a full buy, just a force up with some CZs and utility.
Yeah, that is an interesting one. They did have enough there to purchase if they wanted to. They wouldn't have had an AWP, and they would have been low on utility, but most teams would have invested. So, giving up potentially the 7th, but then again, Nexus, as we've said, have struggled a little bit against these forces, but not struggling here at all. Double kill. Very nice work there on the spray control.
Yeah, Cemente getting that double there really does mean that Infamous have all but lost the round. And Nexus grabs himself a 7th, well on course for a half win here. So at this stage, Infamous looking very, very shaky. This is not Infamous. Sorry, this is in fact Infamous's pick as well. They were the ones that chose Mirage. So,
ouch.
Yeah, not the way they want to go. Especially given that this is in the middle of both teams' map pools. Ideally, you try and get the strongest map for yourself. Not going to happen though.
Ooh, jeez, he put him down there. That was a rather emphatic reply to some speculative CZ shots. So that will be that round gone, and this will be the triple AWP. Okay.
When all else fails, when all else fails, buy a weapon that can kill anybody in one shot, I guess. It seems the most reasonable course of action. It's like, guys, we're not hitting our shots. We're not hitting more than one shot, so buy a weapon that kills them in one shot. Oh, that's dirty. That is dirty, Ang. He almost gets himself one of the AWPs as well. Whiskey R is bugging out of there. Wants no more part of that. But he does, in fact, turn around and just shoot the Avatar in the face. BTNR does come in with a lovely return there after Valon helps out his Shadow player. And Valon, again, aggressive, moving around, getting kills, but that is going to move him directly into Jaxie's crosshairs. And at this stage, it's getting a bit sketchy for Infamous. They have 2 AWPs, so retakes are going to be a very, very difficult one, but shots like that are going to set them up perfectly. Zello, now the last remaining player. Oh, dear lord. Just blows Revi out the server, doesn't even know that he's there. Just takes the shot and kills him anyway. So Whiskey R, he's the next man to take this fight with Zello. Can it work? No, it can't. Zello, more than up to the task.
Into the 1v1, Mar with a fair bit of utility to work with here, so he should be able to get himself a little bit closer, assuming that Zello doesn't fake him out. Zello also in the situation that he could possibly fake himself out here if he gets this wrong. Deciding to go for the long con here, so it's going to be going through CT spawn. I don't know, time-wise, will he maybe choose to come back to A as well? I mean, if we've seen some crazy stuff like that.
He would have to run. If he's going B, he's going to have to run.
He has to run pretty soon. 15 seconds. He'll get the plant, surely, but came very close to getting shot in the back there. And wow, that is a ballsy plant.
Yeah, especially given the situation. Oh, and he's going to miss the shot as well. Mar has a full set of utilities, so he's going to play up close and personal, and Zello, well, that's an FU shot if I've ever seen one, because he just completely nails Mar at close range while hopping with an AWP and a no-scope.
Zello, the man, has been absolutely on fire. 12-3 on his KD. He is ruling the server at the moment. And Nexus, courtesy of him and the performance from his fellow players in Nexus, they are looking so good at 8-1 here. Fantastic start for them on Infamous's map, may we remind you. So this is really good news if you're a Nexus fan. If you're Infamous, you're second on the log right now. You need this win. And so far, it's not looking likely. That's a good start, though.
Yeah, it's a very, very good start. Nexus has done a good job at constantly taking control of mid. 70 is going to sneak through the smoke there and get the kill onto Valon, but it instantly traded up. Mar doing some damage now, and all of a sudden Nexus not looking so healthy all of a sudden. They got themselves an AK and an AWP in a 2 versus 4. Definitely not the kind of situation you want to be in, especially given the start that you've had.
Yeah, that was a bit of an awkward exchange there. They've sort of rubbed shoulders in the smoke and walked past each other. Lefty managing to get behind them, and I think that might have blown it apart a little bit on the A side. Now in the 2v4 situation, Whiskey are reducing it to just a single Zello. We know what a single Zello can do, but can he do anything against these players? He's not going to necessarily have the right weapon to be able to pick off these low HP players.
No, this is probably one of the worst weapons to have to clutch a 1 versus 4.
Oh, Zello destroys him.
Yeah, extreme speed on that flick.
What?
He's gonna nail another one. Lefty also goes down. I mean, this is just insane shooting from Zello at the moment.
Wow. Zello putting on an absolute display here. Don't think he's going to win this one. Really shouldn't anyway, but somehow Mar fluffing it. Guess feeling a bit nervous because of his low HP. He will get a second bite at the cherry there. Zello goes down, but that got super dangerous. Zello, he uses that AWP like an auto shotty.
Yeah, and he's so quick with it as well. I mean, that might be some of the fastest AWPing I've seen in quite a while. So,
accurate.
At the end of the day, yeah, Infamous gets themselves their second round, but it was expensive at the end of the day. They cannot afford to lose this, otherwise Nexus will... I mean, they've already won the half. They've completely run away with it, as Revi is going to trade out. Not the best position to continue the spray. Mar holding up close and personal, and Zello again is basically just... I mean, I don't even know what he's doing at this point. It's just hopping around doing silly things. Ang gets himself a kill with Whiskey. Sorry, on Whiskey. And BTN now, this time, the lurker, as they do seem to be switching that role up. 70, last remaining player, is Valon, not for long.
Well, that's donezo. Possibly the game as well with it on this first map. 9-2, yeah, very emphatic victory for Nexus in the half. And for them, they're going to be feeling rather good about themselves. Infamous, however, feeling battered and bruised here. Scraping the very bottom of the barrel for some weapons. Interesting that Mar actually had quite a bit of money there. He could have maybe even dropped for a teammate. Milan on an USP. So, deciding to go quickly up Cat yet again here, because they've been unimposed so many times. Ang, well, you would have said maybe he should go down, but doesn't in fact. BTN here covering them off, making it look nice and easy. Lefty will be lonely and left all on his own there on that A-bomb site. Half HP. He's got an AK, but I think BTN might have his number here.
They should have. It's really going to depend who spots who first. But, I mean, at this point, you were saying that Nexus need to be careful that Zello can't be AWPing all the time. They actually have swapped that role out quite a few times, though. BTN, Zello, and Cemente have all held that lurking position. As Lefty, he might be in with a chance here. 2 players not on wonderful health, and the positioning is certainly going to count against them here. Jaxie. Oh, okay. Never mind. Smallest of chances. Lefty gets wrecked.
Expecting more, didn't get it. Probably a summation of Infamous's half overall.
Yeah, that's probably the best description of what's happening there. So once again, Infamous on the save, and I mean Nexus at this point just utterly brutalizing in most rounds here. A couple of shots do come out. Revi on 1 HP.
Oh.
As seems like the entirety of Nexus has just decided to start turning on the style right now.
They're freewheeling downhill at the moment. Nothing is stopping them. And as I say that, somebody does get stopped. A sudden stop at the hands of the Deagle, but surely not going to get much more done, especially not when you're catching a nade in the breadbasket.
Yeah, Cemente, the deliverer of said explosive device, Revi. You can see he's rather panicked of jumping out of the window area. Obviously can't die from that distance, but all the better to just not take too many chances. The molly comes through, and he's going to be very, very scared of that. Just trying to recover a weapon, perhaps. As again, Nexus actually lost 3 players to not much of anything, to be fair. Mar, the last remaining player, he's going to try to walk through the smoke. I'd just save the AK. Yeah, it looks like he's going to do that.
Good idea. Don't want to put yourself in the position that you potentially lose that, considering how much they're hurting for money and hurting for rounds in this game. Nexus, though, is there anything that Infamous can do to stop them? It just feels like they're hitting them with a freight train right now.
Yeah. I don't know. It feels sort of like. Do you remember that really bad Hulk movie? I think it's called The Incredible Hulk. The second one that they made.
The one.
There's that point where.
Eric
it's the
Banner.
one where like the. No. It's the
Edward
one
Norton.
with. Yes.
I'm just like
That one.
hitting it with some words. We might have to hold up here because they're going fast yet again. Up cat and into connector. Milan will catch him off, catches a few bullets for his trouble as well. And now these Nexus players feeling pressure to trade back, and only one trade so far, but I got to think Ang's got this. He does in fact burst through the smoke there. Mar on the site will be doing some damage, but not enough to Ang just yet. 2v3. They're going to force him out here. I think the timing might favor him. I thought it would favor him, but Zello, the man with the AWP, he just seems to have an answer to everything at the moment. And surely he's going to have Revi's number here. He's been so good in these close range engagements, and he will be. That's Zello. That's what he does, right?
Yeah, seems to be delivering them left, right, and center. And I mean, just to get back, there's that one part in Incredible Hulk where like Hulk rips a car in half and then puts one half of the car in each hand and uses them as really lame boxing gloves. That's what it feels like Nexus is doing right now. They're just punching you with cars for boxing gloves.
Well, I mean, it could have gone two ways there. They're punching you with really lame boxing gloves as well. Could have been the way, but this isn't the heavy from TF2. He's got an array of lame boxing gloves. Meanwhile, talking about boxing gloves, people are just getting hit in the face here. Hit in the face with bullets everywhere. It's almost not really worth talking about because this half and probably the map should be gone from them. And as I say that, Whiskey has a slight say in it, but more with the FAMAS. Do you have hope here?
A little bit. He gets the first kill there to Jax. He's still got to get past Ang and BTN though, and that's the problem. They don't really have the bomb, so if his timings work out, he could very well shut them down. He knows that they're going towards B, so he'll be able to get into the site fairly quickly. But again, it's all about the timing. Can he make certain that the bomb doesn't go down? That's not going to be the case. He does not have a kit, so timing is not great. Gets himself BTN though, and now the retake is on in a 1v1. It's Mar versus Ang. Can the Avatar do anything?
Ang's got himself quite a bit more HP here. He seems a bit worried that Mar maybe somehow got into the site with that flash, because of course Ang was fully flashed. Mar didn't know it though. Needed to push at that moment, but it was not to be. He faked himself a little bit there, and he pays the price. Ang plants him in the ground just as Nexus have possibly planted Infamous's hopes in the ground on this first map, which is their pick.
Yeah, a brutal T-half, I think, would be the nicest way to say it. Led by mighty man Zello.
He has been absolutely imperious, entry play with an AWP close range, and that clutch that he won as well. It's just some unbelievable stuff. There's definitely highlights in this particular game, and Zello continuing the highlights. Pistols seem to be his forte. Does bag one kill, and he is on low HP. If they had a nade, he'd probably be going down here, but he shouldn't be fighting it. He needs his teammates to help him, and Jaxi going to be offering all the help. He needs Zello with another, and Ang will clean it up here. Next is cleaning Infamous up overall on the server.
Yeah, that was an extremely well played round there from Zello. Gets the first kill and then just hides in the corner. You can see Infamous tunnel visioning so hard on him, allowing Jaxi to just push off short, get another 2 frags, and then Zello with the last little dagger in the heart to get the second to last player. So Infamous, I mean, just I don't really know what to say anymore. Just not winning any of the duels, and Zello showing that he can do it with anything. He favors the AWP, but the FAMAS is not too shabby either, as Jaxi actually steals the last 2 kills from him. Lefty and Whiskey left with all the hopes of Infamous on their back, and Ang, he's got a dirty gun here. Does that work out though? Auto shotty. And no, Whiskey's like, I'm not so keen. Okay. 3 shots at range, one of them a heady. That makes reasonable sense.
It does. At least it wasn't a jumping shot. I was kind of half waiting for that to happen. Kills my soul a little bit, man. I die inside when I see those jumping shots. I scream and shout about them, of course, but it's not how CS should be, right?
I mean, Valve did make the jump shot a lot more skill-based these days.
Yeah, some welcome changes. Valve actually doing good things. Who would have thought? People actually sort of slightly happy with them right now. Meanwhile, the firing squad continues.
I mean, not much to this round, to be fair. Infamous has brought up what they could, but it is 16-2, so the likelihood of them winning this round is slim indeed. Slimmer than model on the catwalks of Paris, and that will be that. 16-2. Nexus completely and utterly overruns Infamous.
Wow, it's going to take quite a lot of ironing to get those boot prints out of the team shirts, because they have just been stomped on you. Zello 27-5. When do you see that? You never see that. But I think it's ad break time, yeah? We'll be going to break. We'll catch you guys on the next one in about 10 minutes.
Red Bull gives you wings.
You ready? Huh? Hey, he's a good boy, huh? You ready? Huh?
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com. Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
got to think Lagamonster's going to release the shot. Does, in fact. His teammate's gone down, and BTN, well, he probably shouldn't have survived getting through A main at all. That was being covered off, but the missed shot, I think, cost Primordial big time there. So impressive on map 1. I'm just super disappointed that they haven't brought that form here. Blitz does deliver a nice little moment there, gets himself a weapon as well. Steffo, he has shown a proclivity for good entries, but not going to help if he cops an AWP shot as he walks into the leg. Mark takes him down. And
there you go. I am not in position to stop the rush, so the bomb will go down, and that's all that Primordial really wants. They'll lose the players, but bomb plant, that's basically all they need. Zell with a fairly sexy looking flick there to clean up Orzek. But
there we go, Primordial into the bomb site they go. Jaxi catching them off actually, drops the bomb, recovered himself an AK and gets a third. In fact, could he get a fourth? He gets a fourth, Jaxi. He just blows them off the server. Looks like we're back. It's Infamous versus Nexus ESL SEC Game Day 9. Been going on for a while now, and we're getting close to the conclusion of the championship in just a couple of weeks. Before we get there, these two teams need to dispose of each other. Nexus doing most of the work here, hey, Prof?
Yeah, Nexus actually ruining Infamous on that first map, and in some style as well. Zello starting off as the lurk in a couple of rounds, and then just decided to go full on beast mode as he cleaned up, what is it, 27 and 5 or something? It was utterly ridiculous what he did at the end of the round.
Yeah, he was so good in those close range engagements with the all impossible looking situations that he managed to win out in. And now we are on Nexus's pick, so you know, despite the absolute thumping they delivered to Infamous on map 1, that wasn't even their pick. They played it plenty though, to be fair, but moving on to Inferno, something we haven't seen so far yet in terms of the map pool. Quite excited to see what happens here, but I wonder, is it going to be more of the same?
I mean, it's going to be the first time we'll see Inferno actually played in the championship. This is Nexus's pick, possibly. I don't know. It's a tricky map. It's not been a map that has been loyal to many teams, let's put it that way. A lot of the teams that are good on it tend to fall off within a month or two after, you know, like the best teams in the world have changed rapidly on this map.
Yeah, it's very changeable. It's always difficult to see who's the best team in the world on this map. Right now, it's probably Astralis. Not too long ago, Liquid looked like probably the strongest team in the map. So
yeah, Na'Vi, FaZe, they've all had their turns. I mean, the only team that has not had that description attached to them is probably SK.
Yeah, they've never really been that good at it, but they had a few nice...
They keep picking it.
Yeah, I don't know why they do that. I really don't.
Well, I suppose it's because they have like the god player on this map. Somehow, this is the only map on which Coldzera can raise his game to simple levels of performance.
Yeah, well, talking about simple...
I mean, he goes right back down to earth and below on anything else, so I suppose there is that.
It averages out, I guess, but if we're talking about simple, though, let's take it back to this game. Zello was doing some simple-esque things. You know, he was entering with the AWP. He ran up Cat a couple of times and got 2 kills.
Clutching with the AWP.
That was just insane on T side with an AWP. You shouldn't be able to do that, surely not.
No. But I mean, he was utterly ludicrous. So props to him. Can't really complain if picking up the frags. I wouldn't be happy if my AWP was running around jumping into corners with an AWP and no scoping people. Like, that's not a reasonable course of action to expect consistent success from. But hey, clearly I know less than them.
Yeah, that is an interesting one. We do have all the players on the server just waiting for the ready ups. It sounds like the ready ups are there. Meanwhile, yeah, you get to see us as what we look like. I know we're beautiful and we're aware of it, but you know, If you want to keep it, you can screenshot it for later. Just saying. Otherwise, you could follow us over on Twitter at Xstreams and at Prophecy Gaming, so you can find out what we're up to with the ESL ACC casts and all the other stuff that we do. Meanwhile, talking about stuff and doing, not much happening. Yeah, it's just a knife run.
Bit of a stab fest.
It sounds like a really, really cool music festival of some kind.
There was a music festival in the town which I came called Stab Fest. There was also a guy at school with me whose nickname was Stab.
Oh my
because he
word.
literally got stabbed, I kid you not.
You come from a rough town, clearly.
Yeah, well, I mean, he got stabbed in the township.
Oh, okay. Well,
with a screwdriver.
Wow. Okay. Yep. Confirmed prophecy is from a really, really rough part of town, in a rough town in itself. But here we go. Rough times ahead, possibly for Infamous, but they are on the side that you want to be, CT side. It doesn't matter though when Cemente is getting kills like that. Mai does need to get more than the one and only bags himself the one before having his scalp claimed. BTN with double entries there. And that will be that in the round. Vlan on 4 HP as we're stuck on the dead player for some reason. No matter though, Nex is cleaning it up quickly. No fakes, no frills, no fuss, just headshots.
Yeah, nothing but bullets for the boys from Romania. And Infamous, well, it's an all too familiar feeling here as they've now lost 3 of the 3 pistols.
Yeah, that is quite
almost
a sobering
screwed that one
stat.
up.
Very sobering
Yeah.
stat. Meanwhile, some action going on here on the force buy for Infamous. They haven't succeeded on the force buy so far, but that's a really good start. 2 kills for them. Replies coming in, however, and I think Vlan needs to win this to make it possible, and he does.
How the hell did Cemente stuff that one up though? That is like mega confusing. Either way, Nexus charging down towards B. Infamous don't look too keen on actually going with... Oh no, just recollecting a weapon there.
It took a while for the bomb to go down, so that's actually helped them out a little bit, considering.
Alright, so they just left an AK behind. I don't know about you, Extremes. I'm really opposed to just leaving AKs as ENG. He's got himself that cheaper MP7. Is it going to work out? He's going to hide sneakily in the corner, and he's probably going to catch Valon around the corner. ENG. This could be shaky. Super close.
Not gonna matter. It was the time was gone already, considering. And he just survives as well. He's gonna feel pretty lucky to keep that AK. As you were saying, yeah, leaving the AK behind, maybe an error there, but doesn't matter. The MP7 wielding ENG wins it out for his team, so that's okay. And for Infamous, things have not been okay at any point. It's one of those sorts of things where you go meet the psychologist and tell them where you got touched, because they're being touched in all sorts of ways at the moment, and none of them are nice.
Yeah, usually they tend to be hard slaps to the face. As you can see, ETN dealing in a number of those. Actually going to run out of ammo and will end up costing him his life. That is also pulled a rotation from the rest of Infamous though, and it's all up to Revi hanging around in the B site. Sorry, in the A site. He's going to get some rather terrible party crashes coming in.
That's interesting with the numbers were as even as they were for just a second there, considering the lack of weaponry for Infamous, but overall in the round it's going to make absolutely no difference. Whiskey R. He shouldn't be able to do much here. Maybe get himself a gun if he's extremely lucky. But I don't know, Infamous haven't been extremely lucky tonight, have they?
No, they really haven't at all. He could grab himself an AK here. Jaxi was one of the 2 Mac 10 players. Yeah, that'll do that. So they're going to lose another AK. Not too happy about that. I think that was unnecessarily expensive. Even though Zello and BTN can buy up.
Yeah, it's again
and
been
Whiskey R? Sorry, I was just going to say Whiskey R has gone for the naked orb.
Or maybe he feels like Device. We heard in that interview with Thorin from Zipex where he was saying that Device likes the feeling of having no armor, you know? Feels sleek, feels fast.
I don't know so much about that.
Yeah, that was a weird one. I didn't quite get that, but Still.
Maybe just encourages him to play a bit better. Okay. Woo. Cemente gets given a gift there by Revi, who basically just runs into his AK. Reasonable.
Well, nothing if not obliging, and going for the boost there on the angle. That could maybe catch somebody on that B bomb side. It does, in fact. Trades happening on the other side of the map that we're not quite seeing at the moment. Mar will need to hold firm, but for now, Nexus not looking to push this. Of course, Mar won't know how close he could be coming to a kill here, and this is actually unraveling a little bit here for Nexus, considering the HP. This could actually get super dicey for them. They had a numbers advantage, and maybe they didn't need to quite force the issue so much towards A. And they are moving towards 2 full HP players here as well. So, oh, actually, the rotation. Infamous seemed to... This could actually change just based on that.
Very confused. Just like, what pulled Whiskey R that late on the rotation? And, okay, Cemente has the angle and doesn't get the shots. And that's going to allow Zello, though, to set up a kill. Are they going to run for B? Doesn't... Yeah, they were going to make that decision, but the problem is now Valon does have control of the pit. They have to clear him out here. They won't know about it at the moment, as Zello's made quite a bit of noise, so the information will have been given by Valon, and the kill will actually be picked up there. So it's all on to Ang. Can he do it? The man who named himself after the last airbender is going to start things off perfectly well with a kill onto Mar, but not from the second. Valon gets that. He's going to save that AWP as well. That's a perfect round for him. An expensive round for Infamous, though.
Very expensive. It's going to be really tough for them to actually come in with a proper buy here. They do have an AWP save, but they don't have anything else, and I think it could actually favor Nexus in this. They got the bomb plant. They'll still have a good buy. This buy for Infamous is going to be under some pressure.
Yeah, Nexus not looking too great. Sorry. No, what am I saying? Yeah, I don't know. Not really that happy with Nexus's last couple of decisions in that round, though. Like the late decision to go A, then you could see that they were thinking like, oh, maybe we can run B. It's just like, I don't know. They've done so much damage and then just ended up feeding away a lot of kills to players that they probably shouldn't have gotten caught up with.
Very individual style that they have, which I guess can put you in that sort of situation. I'm very surprised that Ang is on a CZ. He still has 2,700 in his bank accounts after this. So I don't know why I didn't fully purchase there. That seems like a strange decision. Is the CZ really a pocket AK? Maybe it is. He gets himself a kill on the entry there. Zello and Ko now dancing around here and on the edge of the smoke. Zello, that game sense, seem to think somebody's around here. And BTN, he should be aware of this player, and he absolutely decapitates him. This is a disaster for Infamous. This round will live in infamy as the round that they maybe threw away the first part of this half in.
Yeah, and such a weird position. Like, Infamous doesn't get any information. They don't take any shots. They basically just allow Nexus to execute on them and then just happen to lose every single fight. As Mars not going to make too much noise here. Zella running past. Have they picked up that AWP, though, in mid? That will drop down fairly early. And Zella just sort of ran over it. So it doesn't look like they have actually recovered it, which is surprising. Zella looked fantastic on the AWP. And he's just the man scouting. I wouldn't have him being the one scouting, though. If he's going to be buying AWPs, that's probably not the best idea.
Yeah, on the angle, though, ooh, he does find Mar, and that's a disaster for Mar in a sense, but considering it was a UMP, I don't think it would have won the round for them anyway. Still forcing, though, from Infamous.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't agree with that.
Yeah, they haven't shown much, have they? So, you know, at least if you're doing some work on the pistols, it's maybe worth going at thinking that you can break their economy. But Nexus have enough economy that they'd still be okay. And, you know, again, Infamous haven't quite done enough. And, oh, Mente there. He just does a drive-by on him.
That he does, really. It's a flying Cemente there. And Whiskey are doing some damage. Nexus has consistently lost a lot of players to these upgraded pistols, though. And that is something that they probably should be looking at. And double smokes, okay.
Communication breakdown?
Something like that.
Are they really going to go for this? Ooh, he pre-fires the angle there. Nice work. Also catching the player with low HP. So a bit of luck coming into it as well. But this does make it slightly possible for them. They don't have a kit or anything like that. There's a molly here to maybe deny an angle. They've used it already and it hasn't flushed it anybody out here. Ang probably on the right angle here to close this out, one would think. Revi's got some other ideas and now he knows where he is. He drops him. Oh no. He runs past the bomb, but I don't think it's going to cost him too much. Could have been bad had it gone a little bit later into the round, but they're finally a reply and it almost feels like a fluke in a way.
Is it a fluke though? I mean, Nexus has consistently looked weak against these kind of buys, and this round they just utterly give it away. Why did Zello run through that smoke? I just don't understand.
It's got to be the confidence that he's got right now, because he's just succeeded at every duel in this game so far, it feels like. Look at his score again. He ended the previous game, what was it, 27-5?
27, yeah, it's like 27-5, 27-6, like some ludicrous score, but I mean, surely though, like that's just basic comms. It's like, where is the player? I don't know. Okay, I assume he's probably in what do you call it? So in South Africa we call it braai, but
to the barbecue.
Yeah,
the grill.
Yeah, the grill. I mean, it's like, no, he was last seen at the grill. Okay, why am I running through smoke at this point? It's just not logical. Like, I just don't understand that.
Well, logic be damned. It seems like some very illogical things have been going on so far. Zello on the boost here again, and oh, the pillar upon which he was standing was plucked from under him. Meanwhile, he plucks the head from Lefty there, and that's a really nice reply from him. Mark could be in position here to do some damage, and does on Zello. And late lurk there, but it's not going to yield more than the single kill, and for them, that's actually disastrous for the T's there that he got taken down. Ang, however, he's got some other ideas, and this could work. In fact, long-range engagement here. Ang also getting a kill as well as I thought. And Revi surely should not live through this. Whew. Cemente nearly fluffed it. That could have gotten awkward.
Boys and girls, that last round was an example of how not to play Counter-Strike.
Yeah, let's not do that again.
Let's see. Second double smoke on the gap. So, consistent lack of communication. 2 lurks. Again, even the lurk is an optional thing, so having 2 of them is very, very weird. Just taking straight 4 spies and like 1v1 duels. Please never do these things.
The force buying from Infamous is getting out of hand yet at this stage. I think they just feel desperate.
And the problem is they're buying themselves out of the game with this kind of thing. Yeah, great. They get killed to Cemente. Nexus hasn't looked great against the force buy, but at this point, look at the situation that they're sitting in right now. Now, they know that there's only 1 player on the A side. Why do you even bother going A? Nexus, all of them just going towards the B side. They'll have 1 guy lurking because it's a reasonable thing to push mid. And okay, Jaxie's fairly slow on the uptake, but does eventually get the kill. And now, what does Infamous do? Now you can't buy again.
Surely not. Will sanity prevail? It looks like we've finally gotten to the point where Infamous have decided to do. Oh, never mind. Okay. Vilon, spending too much again? This is like overdrawing your overdraft or on your credit card. Just stop it, guys. Stop it.
I mean, it's going to make your life so hard when it comes to actually having a full buy. I mean, you're going to be low on utility, which means you can't slow Nexus down if they push fast. You can't flash them, so you can't help your teammates out, which means that you're forced to either take early fights, as Valon and Lefty are trying to do, or you're just forced to hit ridiculous shots. It's like, why give a person... Why make it life more difficult than it needs to be? Revi... Well, he's going to get himself a kill down to BTM. Zello, though, doing a good job backing up his teamie.
Yeah, he had other ideas. Nexus now on 7. It surely looks like they're going to win this half. And on Inferno, it's been relatively even between CT and T side compared to previous versions of the map. But even that being said, I don't think Infamous are in any position yet to end with a decent score unless they do something big in this round.
Well, I mean, they need to win this round very cleanly. At minimum, 3 players alive. I think other than that, and, well, Mar, that, I think he got cooked at the top of Banana there.
So trying to enter here. They, of course, one to the good in terms of player numbers here for Nexus. If they get another one, then Infamous are in a ton of trouble, and somehow missing out on that kill. They do a ton of damage. Nobody dying there. That is such an awkward exchange happening. Maybe the smoke, however, might bait in the player. And, well, no. We got action going on this A side. I think they've got it. Whiskey are the snake in the grass here. Maybe he can do some damage. Doing some good damage, in fact. And this has caused them to hold up here because look at the situation. They're just confused as to what's going on, and that confusion has been absolutely taken advantage of there by Revi. Communication, as we've been saying, a huge problem for Nexus so far.
That it has been. Leaves it all on to BTN on 8 HP. Can he win something that he has no business winning? He's still got some time, so can certainly play around with it. It's not like Infamous is looking too healthy either. Revi, does his weapon stick out of the corner there? As it does actually look as though BTN is going to be making a play for the A site.
This could be really
doesn't
awkward.
Have much time. The problem is he doesn't have time here. So like, if he keeps walking, he's just going to run out of time. Like, he's going to have to kill Whiskey R, who's holding a rather fiendish angle, and there we go. BTN's going to go down.
Yep, that was kind of easy in the end for Infamous, but it was super awkward in all of those fights that were going on.
Yeah, I don't know. Nexus just, like, their late round decision making or their mid round calling is just, it's very, very odd. Like, they're so happy to just try and take fights all day long that they tend to just lose fights they don't really have any business losing either way. I mean, at this point, Nexus are still well favored. Infamous didn't really get that many players through, and they're just going to run aggressively. Set themselves up for 2 easy kills for Valon there. Whiskey Hawk gets his head completely blown off by Cemente, and some aggression down Banana. They do have a lurk waiting for it though.
What is
Cemente
happening?
continues this. Well, just reaping players left, right, and center. Zello comes in now. He'll grab the second to last player, and that leaves it in a 1 versus 1 against Mar.
Zillow, though, he's so confident, always going for these fights, and that's going to cost him in this particular situation. Getting a very confused round. Samantha doing his best to bring it back, and he has been the second best player for Nexus. But still, Nexus leaving rounds on the board here. They could have closed this half with quite a bit more on the board, and now on the force buy, possibly in danger of giving it up.
Yeah, it's so weird because they have so many advantageous positions, but because they're so happy to just keep pushing the speed of the round, it's like they don't want to reset at any point. They basically work it. You know, it's like they'll be like they shift into 4th gear and then they just stay in 4th gear. There's no like changing it up, speeding things through, and maybe just trying to fake out Infamous. They just, like I said, their mid-round decision making is just odd. It's like they don't really know what to do outside of basic level plays. Like, yeah, great, execute. This could work out. But Infamous already have that boost over the smoke, and Infamous again have 4 players on the A side.
Letting away here with the MP9, and I thought he might do some more, but Cemente again doing some fantastic work here. He gets a triple, in fact. That should not have gone anywhere near Nexus there, considering the weapon disadvantage they were facing. But Infamous fully tapped out on the money. This could really hurt them if they lose this. Mar absolutely has to win this 1v2. Players are tagged up a little bit, but is that really going to matter here? He needs some luck. He needs some timing to go his way, and Zello spotted him now. Surely they should play this together, Nexus. I just don't put it past them that they might not.
Yeah, very surprising that Zello's actually swapped from the Deagle to the M4. Well, okay, never mind. Now I see why he swapped from the M4 to the Deagle.
Jeez, he's got some crispy aim, and that's a crispy fried headshot there. Delicious. If you're Zello, not so nice if you're Infamous. Now the half win comes in for Nexus. Force buy again for Infamous, and that force buy hole that they've been digging themselves, it's gotten kind of deep.
Yeah, it's gotten very, very deep. Nexus has looked pretty weak against the pistols. So Infamous not without a chance here. They do have those CZs which are incredibly potent, even though they have been nerfed. And nobody helping Zello at the top of Banana. That's just a free frag. Therefore, Mar is going to be able to recover the weapon as well as soon as the smoke goes down. And grab it on the second through the smoke.
This is unraveling rather quickly, yeah? And getting super awkward. Everybody's just getting shot in the back. And that'll be that. There's no way that he should be able to win the situation now. 4 players with full HP. He's got 12. The maths just does not add up.
I'm tilting extremes. What is this?
Yeah. Just a little bit. Doing their best to lose it here, Nexus, despite being absolutely dominant on the first map and being dominant here. They could, honestly, this could have been 12-3 already.
I mean, even more than that. Could have been 13-2. Now Nexus is basically in the process of giving them an 8-7 half.
Yeah, so they'll go for the force by here, and you got to think they're going to truck up Banana and hopefully find themselves a kill. Nades flying on both sides, everybody's blind, everybody's coughing some damage. The damage being dealt here so far favoring the T's very nicely. 2 kills coming in before the reply. Lefty on the angle, he needs to get a double spray down to at least slow them down, but he doesn't quite get enough. He's just got to hope that he's done enough damage considering these players are low. And if Whiskey got through, this could be big. This could be really big. In fact, he drops 1 player and drops the second 2. Zello 3 HP. He's got dreams. He's got hopes. But I think he's going to be very disappointed here considering his HP. And that'll be that in the round. 8-6 and 8-7 on the cards for Infamous.
Yeah, just incredible speed from Nexus, trying to just brute force it, and unfortunately Infamous more than up to the task. They're well played by the B-side players as they get a lot of utility down, also do significant amounts of damage before Nexus can even really get into the site, and there was no actual hope of the Romanians winning there. Too many players on less than 10 HP to really make a good fist of it though.
Well, talking about fists, they have been furious, and Cemente, he's been rather angry. He's like Flasher mad. He's just dropping people despite the shots to the knee there. Meanwhile, it's a fake here, and up Banana they go. Both of these players flashed. If those T's had gotten around the corner a bit quicker, they could have done some damage. Talking about damage, Zello, he doesn't care. He just rips 2 people's heads off. This guy is on fire in this game. Still, you got to think the lead could have been bigger here. This should be their round. It's got to be. But man, the what have beens, the might have beens, right?
If Whiskey had just decided to check T-spawn, he probably would have been able to get the bomb. At the moment, though, Zello is on the mission to stab Valon in the back.
There it is. Zello feeling really good about himself at the moment. You can see it in the way he's played, the carefree sort of manner. Nexus do get the 9-6, but again, this could have been done early. We could have been having post-game beers by now.
I mean, we could have completed supper by now with the speed at which Nexus looked like they were about to run over Infamous, and then you've seen that meme where the guy takes the pole and sticks it in his own bicycle spokes and then like blames somebody else when he falls over. That's basically what Nexus has done this game. They could be far ahead, and this time just made their lives very, very difficult. That's an even worse situation for them as Nexus does push down aggressively down mid, but leaves it all on Cemente at the end of the round.
Gee, that was some nice shooting there from him. He's been absolutely on point since we've been on Inferno. And coming back to the whole Nexus could have closed it out sooner. Of course, there has to be some credit towards Infamous for shutting them down in some of those rounds. It wasn't always what they were doing, but they were doing what was necessary, which was landing the shots. Right now, they're going to need to land some shots because Cemente is hitting everything, and he hits everything yet again. Whoa, what a round from the player. Quad kill in it. And if you consider it at 1 point, it was a 1v4. Unbelievable. Nervous laughs. Nervous laughs, man. Just this doesn't make sense, but hey, if you're Nexus, who cares? You just want to win, right?
Yeah, I mean, they'll be happy to take the win, but I think anybody who wants to go and study this game will probably just drink a bottle of bleach for about the 5th round, because they're just going to be like, no, please.
Are they tilting? Did you just see that?
Seems like it.
And gonna be pushing down, and there's already an AWP out for Zello. Probably dropped to him, and cleaning it up really nicely. Yeah, they're getting aggressive and pushing home their advantage. They want to end this soon. The bomb is dropped, and Valon will be dropped in short order after it, thanks to that AWP in the hands of Zello. And I like this aggression out of Nexus.
Yeah, that's the kind of aggression that I've been expecting, but again, it's team play. It's a couple of guys working together. You can see that they're running down as a pack The T side has just got very, very loose, and unfortunately, you can't play too loose. You can't have one guy so far away from a teammate that there's no possibility of trade fragging.
Oh, and there we go. Firing squad. They tried to do it again, but they ran straight into the AKs. They must have known that was coming. Zello, well, he finds a headshot that was coming his way as well. They knew exactly where he was. Fastest game in the history of ever, that particular round.
Fastest round in the history of the game.
Yeah, I got that the wrong way around. Not enough coffee.
It's the end of the world of Warcraft at this point, as Infamous and Nexus certainly are no fans of the Blizzard produced game at this stage. Can they make it happen though?
Infamous definitely still in with a shot. I didn't think so after those opening 2 rounds there, but score's still close enough that if they manage to win this round, they could probably start to build an innings.
Yeah, and they forced the players on B back, so Nexus won't have as much information as early as they would like. Nexus, they're still holding pretty aggressive positions. Double set up here on the quad side, and that's going to get them the first goal. I don't think they saw the second player. It doesn't matter though. They don't need to see him to kill him. And BT now does move in. He's trying to take fight. Valon though doubles it up and gets that kill. As Cemente, last remaining player, is brought to ground, and Zello in a 1 versus 3.
Seems to be the sorts of situations that he thrives in, but he is going to be spotted. The shoulder sticks out there. Infamous, well, now they're back in it, courtesy of those 2-round wins. It reduces Nexus to pistols.
That it does. Nexus, though, still got a couple of rounds in play. They'll probably save this one, buy in the next. So, allowing Infamous to get to 9 rounds is not too terrible. They do still have, obviously, the favorable side of CTs. But Nexus needs to start working this out, because there's just far too many rounds now where they're happy to just trade lives for no discernible reward.
And there comes the spray down, making it look easy, because it is easy. They don't really have anything to work with. It's got to be a formality, yeah, but they're losing players. And Zello with the Deagle, we know what he can do, and he can do that. He is just on fire, on form, on Inferno. This guy, I don't even know what to say anymore. The superlatives.
Yeah, there aren't really words to describe what he's been doing in this game. Valon is going to play the long game. Sneaking up Banana here. Valon looks like he's going to be outplaying Zello. Although it depends on how much noise he makes. As yeah, very weird round. 50 seconds in, and we're in a 1 versus 1. It's not every day you see that, especially not when one side's started with nothing but pistols.
That smoke is definitely going to give away the game. Of course, the bomb plant will as well, but Zello would have heard it already, and I think Valon was maybe getting a little bit ahead of himself by pushing when he did. If Zello had been in position, he could have been caught off there entirely. Now Zello manages to get quite close here. Is he going to try to draw him out? Oh! Valon just drops him. But still, again, so close. Considering that the only weapon purchased in that entire round there by Nexus was the Deagle on Zello gets 3.
Yeah. And did massive damage to the 4th as well. just as an added bonus, so... Yeah, Infamous up against a full buy this time. Nexus need to just control themselves a little bit, you know. Take a chill pull, put a block of ice on the neck. Don't get too crazy. Oh, Zello, he's going to be fighting in front of the half wall because he can just do things like that and get himself to safety. Actually, no, he's not going to be. He's going to get caught out, and that will be the 10th round. Nexus will not be able to do anything. They'll try and fight this back, but I really would recommend them saving.
Yeah, Infamous doing a good job here, but Nexus also doing their best to give them that round. I understand maybe the first kill from Zello to push through there. Meanwhile, they are trying to take this retake attempt, and they're going to take a bullet to the face instead is Jaxi. He's not done too much in this game, despite the lead that they've had. And ENG, well, they're in a really difficult situation, trying to make the best of it here. 2v3. Maybe possible. in an alternate universe in which things don't work as they should, but things don't seem to apply to Nexus as they should. They have been so good tonight. Now taking it to a 2v2. They don't have a kit, but they are getting the kills that were needed. And that should be that, surely. The extended fight happens, and I don't know why Nexus felt it necessary to do that. They came close, but look at their money. They've decimated it.
I don't even know anymore. It's painful to watch this game at times because both teams clearly are more skilled in this. Both teams are clearly more coordinated in this. It just seems like it's devolved into a deathmatch. Feels like. Again, Revy starts with almost no HP.
Come on, really? Oh my word. Nothing makes sense. This is a universe in which a team like Space Soldiers will win the major. I think we've now diverged paths and the simulation's broken.
Possibly. I mean, I'd like to have a word with whoever created the simulation. That person needs a bit of a slap. He needs to reboot this because the simulation isn't so great.
Quite some damage dealt here to Infamous, so there is still an opportunity for Nexus in this round. They've gone with the force. Jaxi presses home the advantage there on the angle. Two of the players still suffering a little bit for HP, and oh, he looks the wrong way, and that will cost him. BTN now knows that there's got to be two players close by, courtesy of that AWP shot ringing out. So the rotation will come in. The flank's also happening as well, and that should decimate them. Yeah, Ang comes in from behind with that AK, and that is a round for Nexus. Somewhat against the run of play, but as we've been saying all along, it's been very topsy-turvy. It's been very sloppy Counter-Strike, and it's not been pretty, has it?
No, this is not the round of Counter-Strike, or the game of Counter-Strike that shake home to your parents. This is the one that you hide from your parents, you don't admit it to your friends, you certainly don't write it in your little black book. You just sort of scrub it from your brain once it's done. It's one of those. I think the New Zealanders have a term called you just flush the dunny once you're done with it.
Talking about flushing, Mente flushing them down the metaphorical toilet there. Couple of kills for him. Philan also in a bit of trouble as well. And ooh, Zello on the angle there. Misses a rare shot. Still with that HP on Infamous, I can't see it working for them unless they get super lucky here or Nexus do one of their trademark let's throw this round away approaches.
Yeah. Well, they're pretty skilled at those. Let's not deny that.
So in terms of the log at the moment, Infamous are in second in Group B. They've got the 1 win. Nexus haven't found a win yet, despite some incredibly dominant map wins throughout the tournament. Their problem overall has been they're super skilled. When they win a map, they win it easily, but they've really struggled in the games where they've had to grind it out, and that could be happening, yeah, but for now, Ang, he gets the triple spray down. Nice work from him. But still, I'm just worried for Nexus here because they've looked sloppy in this game.
Yeah, sloppy is a bit of an understatement. They're the kind of child that you have to put a shower curtain underneath their chair when you feed them.
Were you one of those when you were a kid?
Yes, yes.
You really were.
That's how messy these kids are. Or that's how messy Nexus's gameplay has been in this second map. Their first map was utterly dominant, clinical, beastly performances from Zello especially. The second map, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like they're communicating very well. It's just far too easy for Infamous to just constantly take 1v1 fights.
Clever angle there on the smoke. I'm sure that must have been intentional for them to do that. And the setup here, and Banana very, very aggressive. Oh, he unscopes at the wrong moment. But there is some help from his teammate Cementa. He's been good at landing those headshots with an AK. Now they've got themselves a good advantage in the round. Cementa gets the bomb as well. That should be 14-10, yeah, unless Whiskey can do something crazy with the AK. And, well, Nothing crazy happening there. All the thoughts of that have been expunged from his brain thanks to the bullets that he took.
Yep. 14 to 10. As Nexus do finally seem to be cognizant of the fact that they can't continually play this sloppy. I mean, if you think about it, Cementa has 27 kills, Zella has 29 kills, and Ang has 24 kills. All of them plus 10 at the very minimum. They're only winning 14 to 10.
Getting the kills but not the round wins. Jaxie on 6 though. He's not helped at all. PTN, that's going to help his confidence a little bit. He's landing some shots here. And now getting super aggressive. They've looked good when they've done this, but they've also thrown a few rounds away. I just don't think that's going to happen here necessarily. A trade and another trade, and that'll be all that happens in the round. 15-10 year map and match point for Nexus. Of course, looking to register their first win here in the championship and get themselves closer to making the playoffs in a couple weeks' time for that €5,000 prize pool overall. And if you want to win yourself something, we haven't mentioned it tonight, type exclamation mark giveaway in chat. You could win one of 5 €100 vouchers for the ESL shop on the Gleam giveaway. Find out how to enter by doing that. Meanwhile, we get stuck for a second.
Can buy yourself half of a chair.
And which half you'd have to decide for yourself.
I want the base.
You're an ace of
That's
base,
all I
are
want.
you?
I just want the base. No, I'm not an ace of base.
There's that smoke with a huge gap in it again, so not setting up similarly this time. And I don't know, mate, is that smoke actually intentional or not?
If it is intentional, that's not the kind of smoke you can play with more than once, because it's too obvious with that gap. Like, it's not a one-way, because both teams can see it. It's just like who expects that gap there, and Zelo certainly doesn't expect a bullet in his brain.
Getting sloppy yet again, but Cemente, he's been absolutely on point. Triple spray down. That should be that in the game, unless Valon could get all of these players on A. But now his position is known. He's making plenty of noise here. He shouldn't be able to get away with this.
No, he should not. Cemente wants to get himself that fourth. Can he do it?
Kobe.
Oh, package.
Oh.
You absolute thief.
Jeez, FedEx package stamped and sealed, ready to be delivered, and the courier was intercepted en route. 16-10 here. Nexus have looked pretty good on the first map, have looked far less good here. I mean, they're hitting the shots, but again, we say it's been rather sloppy, not been what we've expected out of them. Infamous, I think, had a good chance on this particular map to bring it back.
Yeah, they had a wonderful chance on this map to give it back. I mean, Nexus was basically handing them the game at points, and then they end up losing to a 4-spy, and from there on out, it's just, regular run of play. Nexus decides, okay, let's tighten up the belt, let's make certain that we're presentable to the parents, and at the end of the day, a convincing win at the end, but that middle section is definitely not something you show to the kids in 10 years.
Jeez, you've got a real meet the parents and kids thing going on here. What's going on in that head, bro?
I don't know.
I'm just kidding. So thanks for joining us, guys, at ESL Southeast Europe Championship Season 7, Game Day 9. We had a pretty good game. This was one that was rescheduled. We don't usually broadcast on a Friday. We will be back tomorrow night with 2 games. In fact, I think there's a replay of this game because each team plays twice. So it'll be interesting to see who makes what adjustments, what comes out in terms of the map pool. But now, Infamous and... I've said their name the whole time and I've gone blank. Help me, Prof. Help.
Who do we see tomorrow?
Yes,
Nexus and Infamous.
we are seeing them again, aren't we?
Yeah, Nexus and
Crazy.
Infamous.
This is crazy. So you don't often get that opportunity, but we'll get that opportunity tomorrow. Join us tomorrow from 6 p.m. CEST. And we'll be back for more, and hopefully my memory will work better tomorrow. Have yourselves a great evening, guys.
Cheers.
a phoenix, born from the ashes. I take care